Hey y'all, in today's video I'm going to be doing a full set on my daughter, and we're going to be doing a set that is inspired by another picture, but we're going to change it up a little bit. So it features some acrylic design, and then we're going to go on top of that and add just a little bit of art. So in this video, I'm including my natural nail prep. Nail prep is so important, you guys. I know it seems like it's just pretty basic, easy steps, but if you skip any of these steps, then you're going to jeopardize the longevity of your nails lasting as the client wears it. So you want to make sure that you're doing every step when it comes to your prep. Now, this client, which is my daughter, she has not been in quite a while. I think it's been over a month since I have done her nails. So her nails needed some extra attention, needless to say. So I pushed back her cuticle, or I pushed back her eponychium with my cuticle pusher. And now I'm coming in with a cuticle bit, and I'm just running that across the back of her nail plate where that dead skin has built up. You just want to detach that dead skin away from the nail plate. Now, I'm not going to go over and over it till I get all of it off. You don't want to be aggressive when you're doing this step. I'm also going to come in with my sanding band. So anything that is left behind, I'm going to get off with my sanding band. Now, as you can see, I'm only doing the left side. And the reason why I do that is because I'm going to put my bit in reverse, and then I'm going to do the right side with it in reverse. And that is just because it won't skip and it'll run across easy, so you won't risk the chance of digging into the client's nail plate. So the sanding band that I pretty much always use for each client when it comes to natural nail prep is this brown fine sanding band, and I believe the grit is about 180. Now you of course have to switch up your tools according to the client. So if she had a thicker nail, I would use maybe a zebra sanding band, which had a little bit more grit. But the majority of people, I always tend to use this fine sanding band. Now, as I'm running across her nail plate, as you can see, I'm holding that bit pretty much flat to her nail. And when it comes to the cuticle area, I tilt her nail down, and I'm making sure that I keep the sanding band flat, so that top part of the bit is no way near pointed to her skin. I'm keeping it up. So if you do it like that, you decrease the chance of cutting the client. And I've also went in and I have filed the top of that edge too, so it is smooth and there's no chance of cutting the client. So I'm coming in and removing any excess dead skin, and I'm just using those cuticle nippers. If it wasn't so bad, I would have just used my ball bit and kind of buffed it away. But since it was so excessive, I came in with the nippers. And you only want to take off what's hanging over. You can tell the difference because that skin is more pale instead of the, natural pink tones in the healthy living skin. So that's all you want to take off. Now I'm coming in with my my nail tips, and I'm applying those. And you guys know the stiletto, I have said it before and before, are my favorite. You can create any shape out of these stiletto nail tips. Now I have realized though, when it comes to tapered square, I hadn't been so happy with my tapered square. I felt like it could be sharper. So instead, I did a set the other day, and I still used the stiletto tips, but what I did is I went up a size bigger than what I would normally do for the size that she needed. So I went in and I kind of filed just where I was going to put the tip on the free edge, and then when it came to filing it, I was able to create more of that straight edge. And as you can see, I am shaping these tips before I apply any acrylic. This helps so when you do come in and apply your acrylic, you have a guideline to follow. And then when you do your final shaping, it makes it easier for you and not harder. Another step that I do not skip is that I come in with my sanding band and I just blend that tip right where it meets the free edge. You don't want to skip this step because if you leave that bulky at all, it could possibly show underneath your acrylic and affect your application. So I'm going to start my application off with this nude color, and it is from Valentino, and I'm basically going to be doing some side cuts. Now anytime I'm doing any kind of cutouts, I always start with those first. Since this type of design has so many steps in it, you want to make sure that you go ahead and you do those first and get those out the way instead of wait until the end and then you're stuck, waiting for that to dry when you could be, done. So I always get those out the way. So I started just at the center of the nail. I applied that bead, and this is just a medium-sized bead. You do not want to apply it too thick because when you think about it, that free edge portion is going to be capped, and you never want your free edge to be thick, to be bulky. That will just really throw off your shape. So I'm going in and I'm going to apply that, and as you can see, I'm jumping back and forth, and this is just because I'm working through the set. I'm not going to waste my time and do one nail and then wait for that one. No, I'm going to be multitasking here. So now I'm coming back to this one, and this is where I'm going to take my X-Acto knife and I'm going to come in and just make a side cut. So once I have both of those cuts made, I'm going to come back and I'm going to add my cuticle beads. Now the reason why I split this up, guys, is because I want to control the thickness that I apply. Sometimes when you go in and you apply, like say for instance, a one ball method bead. So if I was to start at the cuticle area and I walked that bead down, sometimes it's hard to control the thickness. So by splitting it up, that's how I'm doing that. That's how I'm getting control. So once I have the cuticle area done, I'm not going to file my cuts. Normally I would file. I want to create that sharp edge. But with this design, I'm going to be adding diamonds to that line. So it's really a unnecessary step. And that's something that I have learned too. I used to always do just unnecessary steps. So now if I catch it, I'll kind of nip that in the butt. So don't make stuff harder for yourself than it has to be. So here I'm coming in with a light pastel blue, and I'm basically applying this very thin as a background to my glitter. Now the glitter I'm going to be using is a white pale fine iridescent and also a light blue chunky glitter. Now I picked up my first bead of the white glitter and then I dipped it into the blue glitter, and I basically just applied it to the nail, swirled it a little bit, and then just brushed it through the whole entire nail. Now the reason why I'm doing it like this is because I don't want a full impact glitter nail. I want it to be scattered and more light and subtle. And to tone it down even more, I'm going to come back in with that pale iridescent and do just another thin layer on top. So I'm going to come back to my cutout and I'm just using that light blue and I'm going to fill in that edge portion. Now when you're filling in this side cut, you want to make sure that it's basically even with the nude that you already have. So a thin layer to match the side that you already have done. Now I'm going to make sure that I clean it up though, because like I said, I didn't file it, but I still want to make sure that it's nice and clean. So I'm going to do the other one, and then after I get done with that, I will cap them both with clear. So for the thumb, I'm going to keep it simple and I'm just going to do the solid blue. Now I'm doing that because on the other nails, I'm going to have quite a bit going on. I've got the cutouts and then I'm going to also be doing some designs on top of those. So those fingers are going to be very busy. And anytime you do a set, you want to make sure that it has like a flow. You want it to be consistent. So if you do like a lot on a certain type of nail, even it out by, toning down others. So moving on to the opposite hand, I'm going to show you the two fingers that I'm going to be doing different. All the others will be pretty much the same as the other hand, but these two I'm going to do marble nails and add just a little bit of glitter. So for the marble, I'm using just that light blue and basically white. And I'm just going in with very wet beads, and I'm not doing it in any kind of particular way. I'm not worried about how it looks, because this is basically too going to be the background to the designs that I'm going to put on top. So you guys know, if you've watched some of my other videos, you know I love to create dimension and I like to have layers. So that's pretty much what these two nails are going to represent. I'm going to do the ring finger and the middle finger both with the marble. Now once I apply my marble, I'm going to come in and add just a touch of some iridescent shards, and then I'll cap them. So after everything is capped, here is my application, and now I'm going to go in and start my finish filing. So to start my filing, the first thing I do is I shape the outer perimeter of the nails. I get that done, and then I'll come in with my e-file and I'll use that to smooth out the body. Alright, these are the nails after they have been filed. She has went and washed her hands, and then when she came back, I cleansed them off with alcohol. Now I'm going to come back to the marble nails, and this is where I'm going to create my design. So I'm going for clouds, and I love the clouds that seem to be faded. So those are the ones that I'm going to try to achieve today. Now I'm using just a white gel paint, and I'm basically going to start off by creating the bumps at the top of the clouds. So that's what I'm going to do first, and then I'm just basically going to elongate that towards the side, and then I'm going to come down and towards the bottom of the clouds, I'm going to make it a little bit thicker. The reason why I'm adding more paint towards the bottom and making it thicker is because I'm going to come in and that's where I'm going to start my fade. So you want to be able to have more paint there. And now I'm doing 3 clouds on each nail. So I'm going to do the clouds first. I'm going to get the structure down and then I'll come back and fade them. So to create the fade, I'm coming in with my nail art brush and I've dipped it in acetone, but then I'm going to drain it. You don't want to flood it and take away all of the paint. So now I'm basically coming to the bottom of that cloud and I'm just tapping it. So I'm going to go back in, get some acetone, drain it off, make sure your brush is drained off, and then just tap the bottom of that surface of the cloud. And that's pretty much it. I think these clouds are more rustic looking, so you can kind of make it however you like. I don't think any way is wrong. So once I have those done and faded, I popped her into the lamp for 60 seconds. And now I'm coming in with my angel stickers. Y'all know I cannot stop using these. If anyone lets me use them, I'm going to use them. And I love the way they match up with the cloud. I think it's just a perfect design match. So I'm coming in and I'm applying my stickers and I'm just, doing them in random places. She doesn't have a lot of nail estate, so I'm only going to add just 2 of them. And when applying stickers, I'm using tweezers because you want to make sure that you do not touch the bottom surface of the sticker because you will remove the tackiness. So I applied it, and then once I applied it, I just pressed my finger on them to make sure that they were stuck down really, really flat. So I'm going in and I'm going to do the other finger, and same thing, I'm going to add just maybe 2 of them. So to seal in my stickers, I'm going to use this gel base from the Gel Bottle ink, and I'm only applying a thin layer. You don't need a lot. This is just going to encase those stickers in so that they hold the whole time the client wears them. So for the opposite hand, we're going to use these Old English stickers. They're the gold and bronze chameleon, and we're just going to do her name. Her name is Kaya, so I'm just going to run her letters diagonal across the nail. So for this cutout nail, I'm going to accent it with just one of the little angels. And then once I do that, I'm going to come in and add some diamonds. If I was not going to add diamonds, I would go ahead and cap this nail with the gel base. But since I'm adding diamonds, I'm going to do those first, and then I'll cap with the gel base because I love to have my top coat come around my diamonds, so that way it just seals those diamonds in even more. So all the nails that had stickers, I went in and I top coated them with a thin layer of the gel base. And now I'm coming in and I'm going to do my final top coat with E-Nail Couture Shiny. And I'm even doing the nails that I used the gel base on. And that is pretty much it, you guys. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget, if you haven't subscribed to me, go ahead and subscribe. Hit the like, leave me some comments. And if you're not following me on Instagram, please do so, because that's where I post the most and you'll get to see a lot of my work there. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you in another video.